धीरे से तेरा ये मुस्कुराना, चंदन सा बदन, चंचल चितवन, धीरे से तेरा ये मुस्कुराना, मुझे दोष न देना जग मानो, मुझे दोष न देना जग मानो, हो जाए अगर दिल दीवाना, चंदन सा बदन, चंचल चितवन, धीरे से तेरा ये मुस्कुराना। मुझे तुम मिल गए हमदर्द, सहारा हो तुम ऐसा हो, जिधर देखो उधर तुम हो, नजारा हो तुम ऐसा हो, मुझे तुम मिल गए हमदर्द, सहारा हो तुम ऐसा हो, जिधर देखो उधर तुम हो। तुमने वो रंगीले कैसा जादू किया, तुमने वो रंगीले कैसा जादू किया, पिया पिया बोले मतवाला जिया, तुमने वो रंगीले कैसा जादू किया, पिया पिया बोले मतवाला जिया, बाहों में छुपा के ये क्या किया, रे पिया तुमने वो रंगीले कैसा जादू किया, पिया पिया बोले मतवाला जिया, बाहों में छुपा के ये क्या किया, रे पिया तुमने वो रंगीले कैसा जादू किया, पिया पिया बोले मतवाला जिया। आजा रे दिल बन जानिया, आजा रे ओ मेरे दिल पर आजा, दिल की प्यास बुझा जा रे, आजा रे ओ मेरे दिल पर आजा, दिल की प्यास बुझा जा रे, ओ आजा रे, ओ तुझे देखा तो ये जाना सनम, प्यार होता है दीवाना सनम, तुझे देखा तो ये जाना सनम, प्यार होता है दीवाना सनम, अब यहाँ से कहाँ जाए हम, तेरी बाहों में मर जाए हम, तुझे देखा तो ये जाना सनम, प्यार होता है दीवाना सनम, अब यहाँ से कहाँ जाए हम, तेरी बाहों में मर जाए हम, तुझे देखा तो ये जाना सनम। यारा सिली सिली बिरहा की रात का जलना, यारा सिली 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 ओ यारा सिली सिली ढोला सिली सिली यारा सिली सिली बिरहा की रात का जलना ये भी कोई जीना है ये भी कोई जीना है ये भी कोई मरना यारा सिली सिली बिरहा की रात का जलना यारा सिली सिली यारा सिली सिली ओ यारा सिली सिली ढोला सिली सिली यारा सिली सिली बिरहा की रात का जलना यारा ढोला यारा ढोला बरखा बहार रस की फुहार लाई अखियों में प्यार लाई ओ सजना तुमको पुकारे मेरे मन का पपीहरा तुमको पुकारे मेरे मन का पपीहरा मीठी मीठी रागनी में जले मोरा दियरा सजना बरखा बहार आई रस की फुहार लाई अखियों में प्यार लाई ओ सजना चंदन सा बदन चंचल चितवन धीरे से तेरा ये मुस्काना चंदन सा बदन चंचल चितवन धीरे से तेरा ये मुस्काना मुझे दोष न देना जग मानो मुझे दोष न देना जग मानो हो जाए अगर दिल दीवाना चंदन सा बदन चंचल चितवन धीरे से तेरा ये मुस्काना मुझे तुम मिल गए हमदर्द सहारा हो तुम ऐसा जिधर देखो उधर तुम नजारा हो तुम ऐसा मुझे तुम मिल गए हमदर्द सहारा हो तुम ऐसा जिधर देखो उधर तुम
Hello, everybody. It is so good to be with you all today. Would you mind just letting me know if you can hear my voice?
Yes, I can.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for that. So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the second session of the Wellness Program organized by SVBF. Today's program has been carefully planned in continuation of the themes chosen for the Wellness series so far. So, let's begin with some introductions. My name is Vaishnavi Pamadi, and I'm a third year undergraduate student studying epidemiology and biostatistics at the University of Western Ontario, and I will be managing the technical aspects of this session. Mrs. Sandhya Srivatsan, the artistic director and educator at Ganavarshini, which is an Indian vocal music school in the Greater Toronto area, is also a gerontologist from Ryerson University. She has conducted many intergenerational programs involving youth and seniors, music recreational sessions, and workshops at diverse community organizations in the GTA since 2008. And as a performer, Mrs. Sandhya has given several concerts, thematic and lecture demonstrations spanning India, Oman, USA, and Canada. And at Sheridan College of Elder Research, Mrs. Sandhya has conducted a pilot research study on the effects of music on moods and blood pressures of seniors. So I know from personal experience that Mrs. Sandhya had contributed immensely to the well-being of her students and seniors in the community by organizing virtual performances. So with that brief introduction, I move on to some of the things to be kept in mind for the benefit of those in the audience who are joining in the lecture series for the very first time. So please do keep your microphones muted at all times. You can feel free to turn on your videos because we would love to see you. And during the interactive sessions or quizzes, do type your answers in the chat box at the bottom of your screen. And if there's time, there will also be a question and answer session at the very end of the program. So as you joined the Zoom session today, you all heard the golden, unforgettable voice of Lata Mangeshkar ji, who lived until the ripe age of 92. And so her music will always remain in our hearts, and the memory of the songs sung by her makes every individual travel back to their younger selves, recollecting how the voice and melody touched their lives. So, as many of you have heard tributes pouring in across the globe, over the last few weeks, we felt it appropriate to start today's session with Lataji's songs as a mark of respect to the legendary singer. And so I hope you enjoyed the short trip down memory lane. And without further ado, I will pass the stage on to Mrs. Sandhya.
Good evening. Namaste. Thank you, Vaishnavi, for the introduction and the housekeeping rules. I welcome the audience to the second session of the Wellness Series program organized by SVBF Toronto and Kannada Sangha. Indeed, the haunting voice of Lata Mangeshkar makes one realize how different generations over the years have been impacted by her voice. I trust that some of you recall in session 1 that we had the understanding of how music and memory work, how music helped in the healing process of a cancer survivor, and how it's important to practice mindfulness while listening to music. Are you able to hear with a static, or is it okay, Vaishnavi? Okay. Today, we will be sharing different perspectives, emotional experiences with music, and intergenerational aspects of aging. I've invited a student, a Rasika, an instrumentalist, and a seasoned senior music teacher to share their music experiences with us. Next slide, please. Thank you. I'm sure you will realize at the end of the session that this is a sample of the intergenerational experience itself. I'll talk about this a little later. But before that, let's give some exercise for our brains. Okay, so let's start quizzing. So first of all, I'd just like to say that please Keep your fingers ready on the chat box so that everyone can see your answers that you're going to say. And of course, the correct answer will be said after a few minutes. So, are you ready? Let's get started. Which musician got nominated at the Oscars for the movie Life of Pi? The options are given there. Shankar Mahadevan, Sanjay Subramanian, Sudha Raghunathan, and Bombay Jayashree. I see a couple of answers there. Waiting for more. Okay. It is D, Bombay Jayashree. Very well done. Many of you got it right. So we move on to the next question. Who is the only actor to have won the prestigious Karnataka Ratna Award? Rajnikant, Dr. Rajkumar, Vishnuvardhan, or Puneet Rajkumar? Now, there's a mix of answers there. Oh, yeah. Too difficult for some, but some of you are aware of it. Okay, a mixed bag. It was a little confusing, I'm sure. The correct answer is Dr. Rajkumar B, option B. Next question, please. Respected instrumentalist U. Srinivas is well known for cementing the role of the mandolin in Carnatic music. When did he give his first concert? Options are there. Wow, almost all of you got it right. Yes, 9 years old. Yeah. What a genius. Yeah. Are you going to play? Okay. Next question. Which great personality was moved to tears when Lataji sang "Ae Mere Watan Ke Logon" on January 26, 1963? Mahatma Gandhi, Acharya Vinoba Bhave, Jawaharlal Nehru, or Dr. Rajendra Prasad? Okay. Any more answers? I'm looking at your answers. Anybody else? Can I move on? Yes, it's C, Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay. So that's one of the pictures of two iconic personalities. Okay. And with that, I think we've come to the end of our short quiz session, and I hope you had a fun brain activity. We have given a brain exercise of thinking the correct answers, which took you to different time periods from 1960s to 2000s. So let us understand music and emotions. Music is a universal feature of human societies. In all cultures that we know about, humans make or made music. The evocation of attachment-related emotions by music seems to be related to the social functions of music, which establish, maintain, and strengthen social attachments. In numerous social contexts and for most of human history, music means actively participating in a musical activity, for example, by singing, playing instruments, or dancing. Although researchers still debate the degree of overlap between music-evoked emotions and emotions evoked in everyday life, there is now evidence that music can evoke changes in the major reaction components of emotion, including subjective feeling, physiological arousal, motoric expression of emotions such as smiling, and action tendencies. For example, you nod your head, or you foot tap, or clapping. Music can simultaneously support a range of social functions, and owing to the engagement in these social functions, the sense of a communal we emerges among the participants involved in a musical activity. Note that the social functions of music have a role even when merely listening to music. Listeners automatically engage social cognition, interpret music as a communicative signal, and often feel impulses to move to the music. During engagement with music in a group, whether you're playing or simply listening, individuals have a shared goal, joint attention, shared intentionality, joint action, and joint emotionality. Music is an activity that involves several social functions. The ability and the need to engage in these social functions is part of what makes us human. And the emotional effects of engaging in these functions include experiences of reward, fun, joy, and happiness. Exclusion from engaging in these functions has detrimental effects on health and life expectancy. Now, I thought it would be appropriate if I could share some of my musical experiences growing up. I grew up in an atmosphere at home filled with Carnatic music concerts, blaring from a Murphy radio, those of you who remember those brands of radios, and transistors from Bangalore and Madras All India radio stations. My parents loved to listen to music and inculcated a fine sense of listening skills in the process of me growing up. They encouraged me to guess the raga and would give cues to identify while listening to a concert by Nedunari Krishnamurti or K.V. Narayan Sami or D.K. Patamal or MLV. At the same time, there were instances when my sister and I would listen to Vivid Bharti on the radio and enjoy Mohammad Rafi, Kishore Kumar, Lata Ji, and Asha Bhonsle. We would listen to Binaka Geet Mala, I remember, and with almost to a passion that we would jot it down to write down the 10 top songs for the week. This was followed by discussions at home with friends, at school and college. At school, I had assembly in the morning, and which began with prayer songs. I wish to sing a few lines from a very meaningful Hindi bhajan, which is very close to my heart. And we sing it very often, and rather, we sang it very often in school. So I would just like to sing a few lines of this beautiful bhajan. हमको मन की शक्ति देना, मन विजय करे, दूसरों की जैसे पहले खुद को जय करे। हमको मन की शक्ति भेद भाव अपने दिल से साफ कर सके, दोस्तों से भूल हो तो माफ कर सके, झूठ से बचे रहे, सच का दम भरे, दूसरों की जैसे पहले खुद को जय करे। हमको मन की शक्ति देना। So that was my experience at school. At home, festivals involved music renditions. We had joyous Navaratri celebrations when my mother invited her music friends who would sing for the Golu. Of course, in the GTA, all of you are familiar with the Navaratri season, one of the busiest for all moms, especially with hopping on and off homes for Haldi Kumkum. This creates social interactions and good vibrations amongst all of us, and most of us sing during these festivities. The reason for me mentioning the above is to convey how familiar songs trigger vivid memories, how music helps you build relationships, and recall the sweet memories with family and friends. Music has that unique power to evoke emotions of sadness as well, especially when you listen to music that was a favorite to your loved one who no longer exists. In my pilot project at Sheridan Elders Research Center in Oakville, I recall one of the seniors crying as she listened to Edelweiss, the popular song from Sound of Music. It brought memories of her father who played the song at tea time when she was a kid. One of the seniors at the same project felt irritated when I played a Celtic music piece. So, the choice of songs in a particular genre or different genres may or may not appeal to a particular individual. It is an individual's choice, basically. Music definitely fosters healthy relations and keeps young and old creatively engaged. For those of you in the audience who have attended the Tyagaraja Aradhana in GTA and elsewhere in the world would agree that we never gave so much thought to the intergenerational experience we felt during the Tyagaraja Aradhana over the years. It was just the sheer joy of singing the Pancharatna Kritis together. I would now like to share one of the songs sung during Saraswati Puja at home. My parents used to sing it in unison every Saraswati Puja. It used to be sung, and I used to teach this to many of my students. And it's my pleasure to invite Mayuka, who is in grade 10 at the Woodlands Secondary School in Mississauga. She has been learning music for the past 8 years, and Mayuka is an aide cadet and a member of the Mississauga Youth Club. Her interests include painting, and so now she will be singing a song in the Ragam Naga Gandhari, a Muthuswami Dikshitar's composition set to Rupakatalam. Over to you, Mayuka.
सरसि जनाभ सोदरि शङ्करि पाहि मां सरसि जनाभ सोदरि शङ्करि पाहि मां सरसि जनाभ सोदरि वरदा भय कर कमल वरदा भय कर कमल वरदा भय कर कमल शरणागत वत्सले वरदा भय कर कमल शरणागत वत्सले सरसि जनाभ सोदरि शङ्करि पाहि मां सरसि जनाभ सोदरि परन्दाम प्रकीर्तिते पशुपास विमोचिते परन्दाम प्रकीर्तिते पशुपास विमोचिते पन्नगाभरणयुते नागाधारि पूजिताब्जापद सदानन्दिते सम्पदे पन्नगाभरणयुते नागाधारि पूजिताब्जापद सदानन्दिते सम्पदे वरगुरुगुह जननी वरगुरुगुह जननी मदशमनि महिषासुरमर्धिनि मन्दगमनि मङ्गलवरप्रदायिनि वरगुरुगुह जननी मदशमनि महिषासुरमर्धिनि मन्दगमनि मङ्गलवरप्रदायिनि सरसि जनाभ सोदरि शङ्करि पाहि मां सरसि जनाभ सोदरि Namaste.
Thank you, Mayuka, for singing one of my favorite kritis. Very nicely done. With that knowledge of how music enhances our human interactions and experience, we shall now understand the intergenerational programs that is often suggested as a healthy tool for the aging process. Intergenerational programming provides an opportunity to connect children, youth, adults, and seniors. Participants come together to share, learn, and engage with each other. Intergenerational programming can take a variety of shapes and forms, from a single event to a weekly scheduled activities. So the question arises, why do we need such intergenerational programs? Let us look at some of the numerous benefits. First, bridge the gap between generations. An example I would like to quote with regard to Carnatic music concert. Sri Umayalpuram Sivaraman, the renowned percussionist, has accompanied stalwarts in Carnatic music from 1950s onwards. He's accompanied legendary musicians such as Ariyakudi Ramanuja Iyengar, Semangudi Srinivasa Iyer, and he continues to accompany much younger artists such as Sikil Gurucharan and Sid Sri Ram even today. His presence on stage is not only a joy, but of admiration and awe as he plays the mridangam with such ease, and inspiring with one who continues to play and teach and inspire at the age of 87. What an experience it must be for the young musicians to learn how to sing to an accompaniment of that such a great percussionist. Music definitely helps in bridging the gap between generations, and there is exchange of knowledge and mutual admiration. When it comes to musical talent, age does not matter. The second benefit of intergenerational programs is the more generations talk to each other, the better they can understand each other's concerns and perspectives. Third, loneliness, often experienced by seniors, can be avoided by intergenerational programs. For example, in a retirement home in London, University of Western Ontario promotes music students to live along with seniors at the retirement home, engage them in music conversations, and perform for them every week. This helps the students to improvise their skills while listening to stories and incidents from seniors, bringing their memories alive with familiar tunes. An excellent way of how music can create wonderful relationships in the process. It can foster a grandparent like relationship between the students and residents. So you see, the benefits to seniors is improved life satisfaction, feeling useful to the society, and enhanced self-esteem. The opportunity to meet peers, young adults, and to socialize gives a boost to their overall well-being. Children love attention and stories. The art of sharing experiences by seniors with children promotes culture, heritage, and history lessons. In this process, wisdom and traditions are passed down to the next generation. The children and youth who do not have the fortune of having grandparents feel as though they have new grandparents in their proximity. In our culture, we have many such instances where intergenerational activities are in place. A more meaningful, focused activity with the goal of benefiting and appreciating each demographic will pave way for a healthy aging process and a strong, helpful society. I would like to conclude my part of my presentation today with a quote. Intergenerational work is about building bridges, not barricades. It is about what is possible when we view people of different generations as pure potential, ready to engage, not left behind to wait. In a world of easy isolation and quick impersonal media connections, intergenerational approaches are proving once again to be not just nice, but to be necessary. So, with that, we move on to the next segment of our program today. So, now it's my pleasure to invite my student, Elena Iepen. She'll be giving her perspective as a student and as a sibling. Elena is a first-year engineering student at University of Waterloo. She's been learning music for more than 10 years. She loves to explore Western and film genres of music apart from Carnatic music. She has extensively volunteered at vaccination clinics during the pandemic. So over to you, Elena. We are looking forward to hear you.
Thank you, Auntie. Hello and good evening, everyone. My name is Alana Ipin. Music has been a part of my life since I was a child. It is the mold of who I've become today. Whenever I felt happy, upset, anxious, or when I just want to enjoy the moment, I turn to music. Whether it's through singing, dancing, playing an instrument, or just listening, it gives you the feeling of pure bliss when your emotions resonate with a song. But the most impacting factor of music is that music makes memories. Some of the best memories I shared with my loved ones were those that connected us through music. My favorite memory was how music created a strong bond between me and my sister. When my sister was still yet to be born, my father taught me a beautiful lullaby that I could sing. I started singing that lullaby every day to my sister, who also kicked and wiggled in my mother's stomach in response. No one expected that on the day she was born, we would encounter the loudest little child in our family. She was a fussy little child, and one day I decided to sing the lullaby my father taught. I was curious to know if she still remembered it. The moment I sang the first line, she stopped crying and stared at me while listening. She was able to calm down by listening to the lullaby that I sang to her when she was in my mother's stomach, and she remembered it well. She's the proof that musical bonds are strong and can be created and have no bounds. I would like to share a bit of the special lullaby with you. It's a Malayalam song sung by S. Janaki called Malar Koripole.
മലർക്കൊടി പോലെ വർണ്ണത്തൊടി പോലെ മയങ്ങൂ നീ എൻ മടിമേലേ മയങ്ങൂ നീ എൻ മടിമേലേ മലർക്കൊടി പോലെ വർണ്ണത്തൊടി പോലെ മയങ്ങൂ നീ എൻ മടിമേലേ മയങ്ങൂ നീ എൻ മടിമേലേ അമ്പിളി നിന്നെ പുൽകി അമ്പരം പോകി ഞാൻ മേഘമായി അമ്പിളി നിന്നെ പുൽകി അമ്പരം പോകി ഞാൻ മേഘമായി നിറസന്ധ്യയായി ഞാൻ ആരോമലി വിടനെന്നിൽ നീയൊരു പൊൻതാരമായി ഉറങ്ങൂ കനവു കണ്ടുണരാനായുഷസനയുമ്പോൾ മലർക്കൊടി പോലെ വർണ്ണത്തൊടി പോലെ മയങ്ങൂ നീ എൻ മടിമേലേ മയങ്ങൂ നീ എൻ മടിമേലേ നിന്റെ മടിയെന്നും നിന്റെ പൂമഞ്ചം എൻ മനമെന്നും നിൻ പൂങ്കാവനം ഈ ജന്മത്തിലും വരും ജന്മത്തിലും എൻ ജീവതാരാട്ടായി ഒഴുകണമേ മധുകണം പോലെ മഞ്ഞിൻ മണി പോലെ മയങ്ങൂ मड़ी मेले हरिरो हरिरारो हरिरो हरिरारो.
That was wonderful, Alana. Thank you for sharing that wonderful song. I know you had technical difficulties, so you recorded it and Vaishnavi played it for us. Thank you, Vaishnavi. It was really nice and soothing, I'm sure. The person who really enamored by your voice is your little sister. So, is it okay for me to ask you to invite her so that everyone can see her as
Yes,
well? See
I'll bring
Amelia.
her.
Hello, Amaya. How are you? You liked what Alana Chechi sang? Yeah? Why is it so special for you?
When she sang the words, I just like the words.
You just like the words of the song? That's what you said? That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Do you know how to sing that bit, the Raro with Chechi now? Would you like to try? Go ahead. Try.
Hariru, harirararu, hariru, hariru.
Thank you. Thank you for being such a sport. Very, very nice. And Alana, thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. And Ameya, thank you. Okay. So that was a beautiful bond that was created with Alana and her little sister. Alana, who's also a student. So that was her perspective. Now, I move on to the perspective of a Rasika. It's my honor and privilege, and I'm really excited to introduce Mrs. Sabita Achari, who's a dear friend to me, a guide, a mentor to me and my family as well, and to many youth in the GTA. Sabita retired from her long career in the IT industry. She's passionate about music and is proficient in Sanskrit, Sanskrit being one of her favorite languages. She has volunteered extensively in the GTA at cultural organizations to educate children and youth in our heritage and culture. She actively volunteers at the Canadian Hindu Food Bank, apart from other charitable institutions. One of the most enduring qualities of Sabita is that she's extremely humble, modest, and generous in sharing her extensive knowledge, be it in Vedanta, music, history, culture, and traditions. I can go on about her. Very delighted to welcome Srimati Sabita Achari. Over to you, Sabita.
Thank you, Sandhya. Namaskaram. Good evening to all. First, my appreciation to SPBF and Sandhya for arranging this fine series on music. My warm thanks to Sandhya for having me on this program. I must mention here that I'm not a music practitioner, just that I love music greatly. So my thoughts on music and its inherent richness or power are those of a lay senior. I hope they find some resonance. Music is a big part of my life. I grew up surrounded by music. My mother was a Carnatic singer and was fortunate to have MLV as one of her gurus, even though it was for a brief period. She learned Hindustani bhajans from Srinivas Rao. I tagged along and I got introduced to Jayadeva's Ashtapadi, Surdas, Meera, Kabir bhajans. These poets became my heroes. When I visited my maternal grandmother, my aunt would often play K.L. Saigal, Bade Gulam, D.V. Paluskar on that ancient HMV gramophone. Well, back in my home, my other aunt would go for Parveen Sultana. And then my friends and peers augmented my interest in jazz, R&B, pop, etc. So with all these influences, my favorites come under many genre. But today, I'm going to stay with the classical based category, except for a brief um, deviation at the very beginning. Some of you may remember the Carpenter hit song, Yesterday Once More. In it, the inimitable Karen Carpenter sings, "Those old melodies still sound so good to me as they melt the years away." She's so right. Music has the ability to take you to the time and place when you first heard the song. Does not matter how long ago that was. It's like riding a time machine. Such is the case for me whenever I hear the Kriti Bantu Riti. Whether the Kriti is sung in a concert or in a private gathering, it doesn't matter. It always reminds me of Charu Vishwanathan, known as Charumati Ramachandran. I think Charu was in school, high school, I think, when she used to come home for Navratri, Dasara, and she will sing a lovely piece. My uncle would wait till the piece ended, go up to her and say, "Charu, I like to hear Bantu Riti in your sweet voice. Could you sing it for me?" And Charu would oblige. It's such a lovely memory. So it is with D.V. Paluskar's Hari Charana Kamala in the Hindustani Sri Raga. I play it often. I really enjoy it. I enjoy it for the meaning, for Paluskar's mellifluous voice and his effortless presentation of the rag. But I have to mention, the song also makes me relive the carefree days at my grandma's place, and I feel all warm and fuzzy inside. These old songs do have that nostalgic power. They are, music is a mood enhancer or a mood modifier. I've also found music to be a good healer. After an illness, I had to exercise to get my health back. My mind was half willing, but my body refused to move. And then my mind came up with 101 reasons why exercise is not the best thing for me. You know what I mean. Fortunately, my huge love for Tillanas came to my rescue. I loaded my iPod with my favorite Tillanas, and they gave fresh life to my workout. There was one that I used quite a bit. It was an old Tillana sung by MLV, and it was danced to by Kamala Lakshman, Kumari Kamala in those days. It is an energetic Tillana in Hindolam with an intermezzo of two other ragas. I'd love to play a clip, but I'm tight on time. It's a good piece if ever you get to hear it. Anyway, Tillana helped me to heal faster. But it's not always background music for me. Sometimes I just sit and listen to music, even instrumental. Chaurasya, Lal Gudi, Balachandar. I let the songs flow through me. I call these songs pacifiers. They are stress busters, really. A favorite in this category or in this group is Inudaya Bharade. It's a Purandaradasa Kriti in Kalyana Vasantam. Purandaradasa asks his favorite Vitala, why is he not showing mercy yet? It's a beautiful composition loaded with meanings. Echoes of Gita and Vishnu Sahasranam could be found in the Charanams. You know, in one Charanam, Purandaradasa says, I have been born in various yonis wombs. And I've been reborn in different countries at different time periods or to different relatives, depending upon which version you're following. And I am worn out. I have now fallen into this naraka hell of me and mine. And I trust you to be my only savior, my only refuge. Why do you still not show compassion for me? The concept of rebirth reminds me, the Sanskrit lover, of Gita. You know the verse which goes, Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grinati naroparani, etc. Or the Bhajagovindam verse, Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam. This is a great composition, and I'm going to share just a small clip of this particular section sung by Bombay Jayashree.
ನಾನಾ ದೇಶಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನಾ ಬಂಧುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನಾ ದೇಶಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನಾ ಬಂಧುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನಾ ದೇಶಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನಾ ಬಂಧುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನಾ ಯೋನಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಲಿದು ಪುಟಿ ನಾನಾ ಯೋನಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಲಿದು ಪುಟಿ ನಾನು ನನ್ನದು ಎಂಬ ನರಕದೊಳಗೆ ಬಿದ್ದು ನಾನು ನನ್ನದು ಎಂಬ ನರಕದೊಳಗೆ ಬಿದ್ದು ನಾನು ನನ್ನದು ಎಂಬ ನರಕದೊಳಗೆ ಬಿದ್ದು ನೀನೇ ಗತಿಯೆಂದು ನೀನೇ ಗತಿಯೆಂದು ನಂಬಿದ ದಾಸನ ಮೇಲೆ ಉದಯ ಬಾರದೆ ದಾಸನ ಮೇಲೆ.
What a lovely composition. And Jayashree's melodious voice and that appealing raga. I tell you, this song sits in my ears all day long. And the raga is so enticing. It is used in film songs as well. And talking of film songs, one name comes to my mind, Mohammed Rafi. A truly relaxed evening for me is having dinner and then settling down to listen to Rafi songs. I love his songs. I have a lot of favorites, but I'm going to right now share this one favorite. It's a timeless classic. Okay, let's see. I may get Vaishnavi. Oh, there it is.
तुम्हारे द्वार का मैं हूँ जोगी आ, आ, तुम्हारे द्वार का मैं हूँ जोगी हमारी
stirring, classic rendition. I think Rafi brings in a restrained fervor here, a reverent rapture to match the spirit of the song. No wonder it is so enduring. This memorable masterpiece is on Hari, sung by Rafi, composer is Naushad, and the lyrics are Shakil. Music is certainly an unifying force. Or as the poet Longfellow says, music is the universal language of mankind. I can't say it any better. I know I'm reaching the end of my session, so I'm going to close by sharing these thoughts. I suppose the songs I've selected border on devotion, the bhakti element. But then Tyagaraja himself says, Sangeeta Jnanamu Bhakti Vina Sanmargamu Galade. Bhakti, to me, happens when a person is in tune with the universe and the force within. Music is the pulse of the universe. I see it, I feel it, even in the chirping of the birds, in the rustle of the leaves when a wind passes through it, in the gurgle of a playful river or stream. Music is everywhere, in everything. These musical pieces make me feel that true rhythm, and there is peace within. Life without music would be very dull, colorless. Thank you for listening. Om Shanti.
Thank you so much, Savita. I'm so grateful that you were able to join today and share your wonderful, wonderful music, not only experiences, your choice, your different tastes. It almost was like a dinner platter with different kind of delicacies on it. That's how you really put a whole plethora of genres and musicians and what have you. Um, Very, very informative, very, very touching. And I love the bit personally when you said about how Tilanas helped you. And I was reminded of one of the famous ads those days for Boost. "ஒரு தில்லானா ஆடு, Boost is the secret of my energy." So it reminded me of that. It's a beautiful presentation, Savita. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Truly appreciate you joining us today. So, well, we come to the next. I know we are really cut up for time, but we have an amazing, amazing instrumentalist amongst us. And I'm very happy to introduce Tibisen, who will be playing a medley of popular songs from Tamil, Kannada, and Hindi movies. Please feel free to guess and type in the chat box as he plays. But before I go over to Tibisen, a short introduction about him. Tibisen Balachandran, who is 29 years old, started learning South Indian music on the keyboard piano at the age of 15 from Mr. New York Raja. He has also learnt Western music from Mr. Karthik Ramalingam on the keyboard and guitar. After 4 years of lessons, he started performing professionally with live bands in Canada and USA. He has the distinction of having performed with renowned, legendary playback singers such as SPB Sir, Chitra, Vijay Prakash, Flute Shiva, Hari Charan, to name a few. He's currently working as an electrical engineer in the power industry. Over to you, Tibisen, and a very warm welcome to you. Thank you so much, Tibisen. That was beautiful and so relaxing. During the work week, you've taken the trouble to join us and to play for us. Indeed, it was very nice. So you showed your music passion by playing. So you didn't speak, but you just played it, and you shared your experience with us today. Thank you so much. So we now cannot wait to be in a live auditorium to hear these performances, such wonderful performances. Our final segment for this evening is a conversation with Mrs. Vasumati Nagarajan. I recall my first interaction with her in the year 2000 at a picnic organized by Marka. I felt so happy to have met a music teacher who was so passionate about music. Over the years, Srimati Vasumati and myself have interacted on various occasions, and one aspect of Mrs. Vasumati which I admire is her strong sense of faith and love in music and God. A senior musician and teacher who has trained many students in Carnatic music over 35 years in North America. She holds BA Honours Music from Delhi University, MA Music from Madras University, and Sangeeta Vidwan Music degrees in Carnatic music. She received numerous awards and grants, including the Best Teacher Award from Cleveland Tyagaraja Aradhana in 1998, Canada Arts Council grant in 1992, and the list goes on. She has been conferred the title of Sangeeta Swara Bhushani by Carnatic Music Community of Buffalo. She is a disciple of Sangeeta Kalanidhi, Dr. S. Raman. Has learned music from other eminent musicians as well, including Sri B.K. Jayaraman, Sri T.R. Subramanian, Sri V.V. Sharagopan, T. Brinda, K.V. Narayan and Sri T.M. Tyagarajan, Ramnath Krishnan, and B. Rajamaya. So we welcome you, Mrs. Vasumati, for joining us in today. So I would like to first ask you, for all our audience also to understand, we have all heard you sing over the years in the GTA, but we would like to know a little more about you. So let us first begin our conversation by knowing a little more about your musical journey, beginning from your childhood into your teenage years.
Thank you, Sandhya. I really thank you for including me in today's program. I thank for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this program, wellness program, which is organized by the SVBF and Kannada Sangha. As we all know that music is a great instrument in developing mindfulness. When mind goes awry, music comes as the best recourse. And so as a child, as I grew up, my father who was a great singer, but he never formally learned any music. But he had, in his younger days, probably he has been listening to a lot of Nadaswaram playing. And so every day he would be singing in the bathroom, all different ragas and everything. So I grew up listening to them almost every other day. And also my mother would play, in those days, they used to have gramophone records. So they used to play gramophone records of great stalwarts, and music was constantly. She would play the music, and also especially she had a liking for M.S. Subbalakshmi, and she would play most of the time the raga called Bhairavi, and she would play a song, Yaro, Ivar Yaro, and everything. So that really, as I kept listening to that, it just even without, it just I could just reproduce the ragam like that, and but over the years, through some my experience, now when I look at it, the raga is so beautiful, and it has when actually when you internalize the ragam, it just reveals that there is so much to it, and I would like to a little bit demonstrate and see
Sure. I'd love
how
to
the
hear
raga
you.
goes. Okay. And the song was யாரோ இவர் யாரோ என பேரோ ஹரியேனே யாரோ இவர் யாரோ என பேரோ ஹரியேனே யாரோ இவர் யாரோ என பேரோ.
Thank you. That's so beautiful. One of my favorites, Yaru Yaru.
Oh, thank you.
I had a question, Mami. Can you share with us your learning experiences with your gurus? I know how much for all of us, our gurus mean a lot to us. We share that special bond with them. And it's something that you can never explain. But I would like you to share a short anecdote. That would be great. If you could just share whatever you experienced with your Guru, Sri Ramanathan sir.
Of course. Ramanathan, when you just name him, he's such an amazing person as a musician, as a musicologist, and as a person himself. And he touched my heart so much. And he had the acquaintance it's very interesting. Actually, I attended one of his concerts along with my husband, and at the end of the concert, I just went to him and then I thanked him. I said, I enjoyed your concert and everything. And then when I introduced myself as the daughter-in-law of N.S. Vardachari, who was a freedom fighter, he was so happy, and then it seems he had a great respect for my father-in-law. So immediately he was so happy, and then he said, come from tomorrow, come and start learning. So I was so happy that I started learning from him. And he used to have private classes and then group classes, and then the classes would just go on and on, right from the morning till afternoon, and all different aspects of music. And then he would even talk about his gurus, like interesting anecdotes, and then how his guru, the Tiger Vardacharya and Sabes Iyer, those were his gurus, and he would demonstrate how they used to sing ragams and everything. And it was a joyful class, and then I would actually looking forward to them. And he had a unique way of teaching ragas, and even the most complicated ragas, he would make it simpler, and then he would teach it in such a way that we can just pick it up in no time. So one such instance, I remember one of the ragas that he taught us. It's called Bhavani. And the Arohanam Avrohanam goes like this. Sari ga ma dhani sa sa ni da ma ga re sa sari ga ma dhani sa sa ni da ma ga re sa. And then he actually made us do all kind of exercises, and then like gamada nisa sari garisa nida nidama gamada magari gamada madama manida ni mada gamariga te magari sada nisariga mada nirisa. And he also composed a varnam, and then he taught us, so that the varnams really help us to understand the raga much better.
Sure.
And then later on, he also taught us a song, and the song it's a very beautiful song which just brings out the raga in all its varied aspects. So I'll just sing the Pallavi, and to demonstrate how the ragam, he has incorporated the ragam in the Pallavi, Anupallavi and Charanam. Just a sample. Bhava priye bhavani balam mam paripahi 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 bhava priye bhavani.
That was beautiful. That was really nice. That kind of, I remember attending Ramanathan sir's concerts as a young kid, and truly appreciated the way in which, I mean, there was no any kind of a gymnastics, but you wonder where the voice comes from so well, and with so much.
I know.
That
he
was
never
beautiful.
had any facial expressions
No
or
way.
anything.
And
like
he
that.
would just, that's very striking about him, and a very simple looking human being, and amazing.
That's what I imbibed also his qualities. He was such a down to earth gentleman that that really touched me so much.
Yeah, and to hear that you had such a great opportunity from learning from him, it's really your fortune, I would say.
Of course, I was fortunate.
Yeah. So since you've lived in North India for quite some time, I understand, did you have an opportunity to listen to Hindustani music or bhajans?
Of course. Yeah, that also helped me a lot. Actually, my fellow students, I used to listen to my friends, when they used to learn Hindustani music. And also, as we used to live near Birla Mandir. So the Birla Mandir, we would, it's a huge temple built of marble. I hope you all know about it. It's an amazing temple. And there used to be a huge shrine, Krishna, the Sanctum Sanctorum, and a huge hall along with it, adjacent. And every day they would conduct bhajans, all kind of bhajans, Surdas, Kabirdas, and they would sing as well as they would dance. So as a young girl, I would go there and I keep listening to them and everything, and then I will try to come home and then I'll try to copy them. Though I may not, really well, but to my whatever, way I could sing. But that had a great impact on me, that I started developing, since the language was quite easy for me to pick up, and also the tune was much easier.
Right.
And so I really had a great liking. And over the years, during my, in my musical journey, and as I grew up, and then my interest in music and bhajans really grew. And then I learned from one Dr. Ramamurthy Rao, and he was a student of Bhimshen Joshi. I learned quite a few bhajans from him. And
Like
so
to
I
sing
will,
one for us?
yeah, I will. Thank you. Okay, I will sing a bhajan. It's called Janaki Nath Sahai. See, when Janaki Nath is Ram, Janaki's husband, he's there. No human on earth can harm you, or no, even the Suraj, Mangal, all these planets can never harm you. Nobody can harm you. He's there with you all the time. So it really touched me so much. So I would like to present that. जानकी नाथ सहाय करे तब कौन बिगाड़ करे नर तेरो जानकी नाथ सहाय करे तब कौन बिगाड़ करे नर तेरो जानकी नाथ सहाय करे तब कौन बिगाड़ करे नर तेरो जानकी नाथ सहाय सूरज मंगले सोम भृगु सुत सूरज मंगले सोम भृगु सुत बुध अरु गुरु वरदायक तेरो बुध अरु गुरु वरदायक तेरो राहु केतु की नाही गम्यता राहु केतु की नाही गम्यता संग शनीश्वर होत उचेरो संग शनीश्वर होत उचेरो जानकी नाथ सहाय करे तब कौन बिगाड़ करे नर तेरो जानकी नाथ सहाय दुष्ट दुशासन विमल द्रौपदी दुष्ट दुशासन विमल द्रौपदी चीर उतार कुमंतर प्रेरो जाकी सहाय करी करुणानिधि जाकी सहाय करी करुणानिधि बढ़ गए चीर के मार घने रो बढ़ गए चीर के मार घने रो जानकी नाथ सहाय जानकी नाथ सहाय करे तब कौन बिगाड़ करे नर तेरो जानकी नाथ सहाय 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 जानकी नाथ सहाय।
was so touching and very moving. Beautiful lyrics, Basmati Mami. It's really the very first time that I've been listening to this kind of a bhajan in a very long time. Yes, it really moves. Music really moves us, and we have already spoken a lot about music and emotions. Any particular ragam that really moves you? Could you share an emotional experience,
Yeah,
perhaps?
yeah. There are lots of songs that I learned from Dr. S. Ramanathan as well. One of such ragas it's called Bhagadishwari, and the Bhagadishwari, and actually I learned the song first, and then the raga was so captivating, and so then I started elaborating those ragam. The ragam, the swarams actually uh, like um, Sari ga, the re and ga, since they're close, or I don't know, or it may be. And when I used to sing, it used to kindle a kind of feeling in me that it really made me, forget all my worries. Ga sari ga ma pa pada ni sa ni da pa ma ga sorry. Padani nida pamagamari sa sari gama padani sa nida pamagamari sa sari gama pamagamari da na na ra na na ra 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 tari na ra ra. It's making some sound. Are you getting any sound?
No.
No?
Yeah, sometimes we do get, but only in between. Maybe you should lower your tambura. But that was so beautifully presented. Whatever you said, it was so nice.
The ragam, especially when you rest on the ga, na, na, ra, and when you do that, it just it's kind of it brings out some kind of emotion in us.
Tugs at your heart. So nice, Mami. Thank you. Yeah, it's a beautiful ragam. Okay, and one final question before we wrap up. There's so many comments and positive comments about your presentation. So, in my course of interactions with you, I've understood that you love to sing rhythms. So, would you like to sing a slow rhythm for us?
Okay. वैदेही सहितं सुरद्रुमतले महामण्टपे मध्ये पुष्पकमासने मध्ये पुष्पकमासने मणिमये वीरासने सुस्थितम् अग्रे वाचयति प्रभञ्जनसुते अग्रे वाचयति प्रभञ्जनसुते तत्त्वं मुनिभ्यः परं तत्त्वं मुनिभ्यः परं व्याख्यातं भरतादिभिः परिवृतौ रामं 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 भजे श्यामलं रामं 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 भजे श्यामलं I'll end with a prayer for the welfare of everyone. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति ॐ शान्ति शान्तिः Thank you, Sandhya, for giving me an opportunity. It was wonderful to be a part of this program, this wellness program.
Thank you. Thank you for accepting the invitation for you to come over here and share your experiences. You like to switch off your tambura, Mami, if you don't mind?
Yeah.
So it was wonderful, and it was really very, very informative, whatever you shared with us today. And definitely, we would love to see you in person and have a live performance. As artists, as performers, and music educators, I'm sure you will agree, all of you in the audience will as well agree, that it's high time that we all have a live performance. And we would listen to all the performers, and we can see the rasikas in the audience, and have that energy flowing between the performer and the audience. And I'm waiting for that day, because we have waited for too long these past 2 years. I'm sure all of you agree with that. And we will have a live performance, and hopefully we will listen to you live, Mami. And thank you so much. And to one and all, thank you for patiently sitting through the 1.5 hours program. I'm sorry I exceeded a little more than the 1 hour that was given to me. But I truly appreciate, I'm sure everyone enjoyed it, and it was meant for all age groups as it was intended to. And I couldn't not have done this without the help of dear Vaishnavi and my student, and the rest of my students, Mayuka, Alana, and the guest speakers for today, Mrs. Sabita Chari, then Tibishan, and Mrs. Basmati. Thank you so much. Shubhratri. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandhya.